Urgent Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here we bring you daily videos with the latest Pittsburgh Steelers updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Alright, Steelers fans, I hope you're sitting down, because what I'm about to tell you is truly something to keep an eye on. The NFL offseason is always a roller coaster, and this year, especially with the 2025 draft behind us, things are heating up even more. The Steelers, as you well know, have always been a franchise that prides itself on stability, strong defense, and finding those hidden gems in the draft. But this offseason, there's a lot of buzz swirling around the quarterback position, a position that, let's face it, has been a bit of a mystery for the Steelers in recent years. So, what exactly happened after the draft? Well, the Steelers made a move, but it wasn't a blockbuster. They selected Ohio State's Will Howard in the 6th round, which is interesting because it signals that they're looking for depth, a potential backup, or maybe even a future starter. But here's the kicker, there's still no clear-cut starting quarterback on the roster right now. It's a situation that has fans talking, especially because the Steelers have been waiting patiently on one man, Aaron Rodgers. Yes, Aaron Rodgers, the future Hall of Famer, the 4-time NFL MVP, the guy who has pretty much defined a generation of quarterbacks, has been the center of attention. The Steelers are reportedly holding their breath, waiting for Rodgers to make a decision about his future. Will he come to Pittsburgh? Will he retire? Or perhaps he's weighing other options. But as of now, nothing is set in stone, and the Steelers are bracing themselves for a potential pivot if Rodgers decides to pass on the Steel City. And let's be real, if Rodgers doesn't come to Pittsburgh, the Steelers are going to have to get creative. There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors, and one of the most talked about names in recent weeks is Kirk Cousins. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, Kirk Cousins? Isn't he a Falcon now? Well, yes, but here's where it gets interesting. According to reports from Bleacher Report's Talon Hadley, the Steelers front office, led by GM Omar Khan and head coach Mike Tomlin, are keeping a close eye on Cousins, who, it seems, is eager to move on from Atlanta. You see, Kirk Cousins has made it pretty clear that he is not thrilled with his current situation in Atlanta. Last season, he started 14 games for the Falcons, throwing for over 500 yards and 18 touchdowns. But, and here's the big caveat, he also threw a career-high 16 interceptions. Now, some of you might say, wow, that's a lot, but when you look at his overall game, Cousins has been a consistent performer. He's a guy who has played in multiple Pro Bowls, has led the NFL in fourth-quarter comebacks, and has a knack for leading game-winning drives. And, most importantly for the Steelers, he brings veteran leadership, experience, and a steady presence in the huddle, exactly what Pittsburgh needs if they're looking to bridge the gap until they find their long-term solution. Now, the twist here is that Cousins has publicly expressed his desire to be a starter. According to NFL Network's Steve Wyche, Cousins has made it clear that he wants to be the guy leading the offense, not just a backup. And with the Falcons seemingly at a crossroads, especially with their new coaching staff and roster rebuild, it's very possible that Cousins could be on the move. Reports even suggest that he might waive his no-trade clause, which would give teams like the Steelers a real shot at bringing him in. And here's where things get really intriguing. The Falcons coach, Raheem Morris, acknowledged that Cousins has made it known that he wants to be a starter, which puts the Falcons in a tough spot. Do they keep him and risk losing him for nothing? Or do they trade him to a team that needs a veteran quarterback? It's a chess game, folks, and Pittsburgh might just be one of the teams ready to make a move. The Steelers have shown in the past that they're not afraid to take calculated risks, especially when it comes to filling the most important position on the field. But why would Cousins be a good fit for the Steelers? Well, for starters, he's someone who's been around the league long enough to understand what it takes to succeed at the highest level. He has a good arm, excellent decision-making skills, and a pocket presence that's often underrated. Yes, he's thrown more interceptions than he'd like, but he's also been remarkably durable and consistent over the years. Plus, in Pittsburgh, he'd have the chance to work with a solid offensive line and a coaching staff that values stability and leadership. Now, we can't ignore the implications of all this for the Steelers' long-term plans. The franchise has been patient with their quarterback situation, but fans are eager for stability. Kenny Pickett showed flashes last season, but he's still young and developing. The Steelers' front office and coaching staff are likely weighing all options, from giving Pickett more reps to bringing in a veteran like Cousins or even exploring other options in free agency or via trade. The draft, as I mentioned earlier, was more about depth and potential, not necessarily securing the franchise quarterback of tomorrow. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most pivotal in Steelers history in recent memory. The team's defense remains one of the best in the league, with stars like T.J. Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Cam Hayward anchoring their unit. But the offense, especially the quarterback position, is still a question mark. If they can land a veteran like Cousins, it could mean the difference between making a deep playoff run or having another season of what could have been. The Steelers have always been about winning now, but they also know that building for the future requires careful planning and sometimes bold moves. And don't forget, this is a franchise that's proud of its history. The Steelers have a legendary culture of resilience, grit, and never giving up, traits that Cousins has demonstrated throughout his career. His leadership and experience could be exactly what Pittsburgh needs to push through the tough parts of the season, especially if they're still figuring out the quarterback situation when training camp rolls around. Of course, the big question remains, will Aaron Rodgers decide to come to Pittsburgh, or is this Kirk Cousins the next best option if the deal with Rodgers falls through? All signs point to a very active offseason for the Steelers, and fans should be prepared for some surprises. Remember, the NFL offseason is all about rumors, strategic moves, and sometimes, just plain luck. The Steelers have always been a team that can adapt, and this year looks no different. They're in a unique position, balancing the future and the present, trying to find that perfect quarterback to lead them back to the top. Now, as we look ahead to the upcoming season, it's impossible not to feel a mix of excitement and anticipation. The Steelers have a talented roster, a passionate fan base, and a coaching staff that's proven it can develop talent and win games. But the quarterback spot, that's the missing piece right now. Whether it's a young guy like Will Howard, a seasoned veteran like Kirk Cousins, or perhaps even Aaron Rodgers if he decides Pittsburgh is the place to be, the next few months are going to be crucial. So, what do you think, Steelers fans? Are we going to see Cousins in black and gold? Or is Rodgers still the top target for the franchise? Or maybe, just maybe, the Steelers have a surprise up their sleeve. Whatever happens, one thing's for sure, this offseason is going to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and I'll be here to keep you updated every step of the way. Stay tuned, because I'll be breaking down all the latest news, rumors, and analysis as they unfold. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. Do you think Cousins makes sense as a stopgap? Are you holding out hope for Rodgers? Or maybe you believe in Kenny Pickett's potential and think the team should stick with him? Whatever your thoughts are, let's get the conversation going. Remember, this is your channel, and we're all in this together. I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Steelers!